Welcome everyone to Munich. This film part here we will show you what you can experience in Munich from the classic sides, but we'll also show you some trendy areas where you see the modern Munich as well. And of course we will also show you a hotel where you can stay at reasonable rates still. And we're starting right here at the urban center of Munich. This is the so-called Marienplatz, and the Marienplatz is famous because, well, you see already how many people are here. This is really the heart of Munich. We will also soon see the Frauenkirche, which is close by here. This above here, this is the town hall. And this very place here goes back to the 12th century. For a lot of decades, even centuries, this has been used as a marketplace. This is somewhere else now, we will show you quite soon. Later on, there were also cars running around here, but in 1972, the municipality decided, okay, let's keep it for the pedestrians again, and that really revived this place to make it so vibrant as it is today. Munich is the third largest city in Germany, population-wise 1.5 million, but over 10 million tourists each year visit the city. And one of the reasons is the Frauenkirche, or also Women's Church directly translated, or also Dom zu unserer lieben Frau. That would be the full name. And you see it at the moment, it's being renovated because it should be remaining that beautiful as it is right now. It's already really centuries old, as most of the other buildings, 15th century. And here you can, when you see up, not quite close, 100 meters, are both towers high, this huge clock. And this is also the reason why Donald Trump would not be happy in the city of Munich investing here, because that everyone can still see the view even from a far distance. It's not allowed to build any new buildings that are higher than 100 meters here in the close surrounding. The majority of the tourists are domestic tourists, but there's one very big tourist group from across the Atlantic. Those ones are the Americans, and they favor the Hofbräuhaus. This is kind of number one, the most famous destination to enjoy beer here, original in Germany, in Bavaria. Beer, also one thing the country is very famous for, of course. And another unique part of the city is the so-called Viktualienmarkt, the Viktualienmarkt, and it is indeed a market. Nowadays, in the evening times, there's not so much happening anymore, but you can see one specialty of this place, because since 1807 there has been a market every day, except for Sundays and public holidays. And therefore those houses here, those stands, evolved, so you don't only have moving market stands, you also have fixed areas where also things are getting sold. Even in the evening you can get, for example, some bread still here in one of the shops nearby. And then at daytime, of course, a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables and a lot of more. The character of a city is always also defined by its gardens and the combined quality of life. And this here is the so-called English Garden in Munich, and it is a very special place because in 1789 it was one of the first gardens that were open to the public, because first of all, just the Royal Society, they started having those magnificent gardens, and they weren't really open to public. This one was then from the beginning on, and even today it's one of the biggest gardens of the world with 375 hectares of size. Really impressive. At the southern entry point of this garden, however, this here has nothing to do with being quiet and relaxation. This one here is about action. This is a salt called Eisbach. It flies directly through the garden and it comes out of under the bridge with a lot of pressure, and therefore you don't have to live in California to enjoy surfing. You can even do it in the heart of Munich. Way smaller, but also very beautiful and rather in this royal style is another garden that also reminds us with the name of its true origin. This is the so-called Hofgarten. So this was really belonging to the royal court then as well. Well, what didn't? But here you see the symmetry and also the planning that are still done today. There's a central place here as well and surrounded by a lot of another magnificent buildings and the transition also to one of the biggest avenues in Munich. The transition from the Ludwigstraße over to the Odeonsplatz, this is one of the big magnificent avenues here in Munich, and you can see with those very beautiful classic old buildings, this is still the classic Munich. There's also right here the entry to the Hofgarten. This is a little bit northern of the central part of the city. And we're going a little bit up north. Because a little bit more up north there's a so-called Maxvorstadt quarter, and this is without doubt one of the hip or trendy quarters of Munich. There's always a question, you know, and discussion which is the most hippest, most trendy quarter overall. There's the Glockenbachviertel, the Gärtnerviertel, or also Maxvorstadt here. The west quarter is also up and coming right now, but this one here, Maxvorstadt, undoubtedly with a lot of different variations in style. You can see a lot of different shops which are very interesting, for example for home decoration, for art, so a lot of galleries here designed for inside and outside, and a lot of great forms and ways to satisfy your needs in drinks and food. For example, also very nice cafes where you can also sit outside with a small place, and this one here is called Katzentempel Cafe, which means Temple of Cats. Let's find out why. And you can see it right here, because here in this cafe they have 6 cats, and well, they can be hugged if they want to, but you always have to pay attention. They also, you know, want to sleep at some point, and for example when the tail is moving with the cat, that's not a good sign. With dogs, it's a good sign. But with cats, it's a bad sign. She or he, not sure it, I think it's a he, does not want to be disturbed right now. But of course, you also maybe don't want to disturb while eating your food. And of course, really beloved by kids to come here, because then they, from time to time, can also hug the cats. And you know, that's also part of the cafe. Some would maybe say, oh, you know, I don't want cats together with my food, but people like me, who are also having cats on our own, they really love to see them everywhere around, even in a restaurant. So cute. And this is the Allianz Arena, home to Bayern Munich, one of the biggest football clubs in the world, and also home to the second Bundesliga club, 1860 Munich. And the special thing about this arena, at the moment it's white, but at night they can change colors. For example, when Bayern Munich is playing, they change it to red, and when 1860 Munich is playing, they change it to blue. This arena was opened in 2005 and the maximum capacity is 75,000 people. Before those two clubs were playing this arena, and it's quite unique in the German Bundesliga or first and second Bundesliga that two of the professional teams play together in one arena. Before that one, they were both playing in the Olympic Stadium. And this is the former playing site of both of the big soccer clubs, the Olympic Stadium. And it has a rich history because for the Olympic Games in 1972, it was originally built together with the park here around. And all of the buildings, they have this same kind of structure that looks like flying glass. And at that time, it was really a groundbreaking architectural story. Also, you can go up the huge tower here in the Olympic Park and just take it for a later time, relax in the park. It's free of charge, the entry. Just if you want to go into the stadium, you pay, I think it was about €2. But all over the park, a lot of people are gathering, also during the week, especially in the evening at sunny days. Just relax on those hills here, take some free time at the lakes. And also the lakes has been used, for example, for numbers of events. There was a very spectacular event from the Red Bull X Fighters here, for example, once. And overall, this one here is a true success story, while other Olympic areas and parks nowadays, you know, there's nothing much happening. There are a lot of billions of dollars are spent and then everything is kind of oversized and forgotten. A big problem in Essence, for example. But here, this area has been used all the time after the Olympic Games as well. 1974, the World Cup, for example, which Germany gladly won right here in Munich against the Netherlands, 2-1. Was a great game as well. But also in the modern times, and overall, it's incredible figures. Over 12,000 events have been held here with over 200 million visitors. Munich, or München in its original German name, is also about BMW, or BMW, as in the German original pronunciation. And I love modern architecture as well, as a contrast to the very much classical sites we have seen. And modern architecture and BMW can be combined right here, because in 2007 the BMW World opened, or they also call it worldwide the BMW Welt. And here it's something kind of a modern exhibition. They present their brands, BMW, Mini, Rolls-Royce, and also the motorcycles, for example. And also customers take deliveries here, and sometimes they come from all over the world to take their ordered BMW here right next to the headquarters. And it's a really impressive building, close around to the Olympic Park and also just across the BMW headquarters in the BMW Museum. And so it really forms a very unique landmark, and we are standing here directly on the bridge between the BMW World and the BMW headquarters at the moment. And you wouldn't maybe realize, because Germany also has so much classic sites, but with over 3 million visitors each year, this one here is one of Germany's top visited sites. And across the bridge there's the BMW Museum. First of all, the lower building, about 600,000 visitors each year, not that much than the BMW World, but again one of the most visited museums overall in Germany, built in 1973. Over 100 exhibits has been taken place there so far, and you might wonder about the form there. You see more about that, for example, on the inside, which is also very interesting. And even if you look at it from above, that's really special, because then you realize what form, because on the top one, on the kind of on the roof, you can again see the BMW logo. And finally, this third BMW building is the famous 4-cylinder. And there we also have a connection to Vienna, because this building was designed by the Vienna professor of architecture Karl Schwanzer. And we're staying in the Meininger Hotel in Munich, and what is very important, especially to Oktoberfest times in October, this hotel is also very close to the Theresienwiese. This is the place where the Oktoberfest is happening. But also for other occasions, it's not too far away from the next train station, therefore you can also be quite fast to the city center. Let's get inside. And as you may be used from other Meininger hotels, next to the reception area there's also a game room with different games, as for darts, for example, and you can also use the pool sticks here right now, or more like a football fan, the kicker, of course. So you can enjoy some leisure time with your friends if you maybe have an hour in the evening. The reception area also serves as a small bar. You can get some snacks and drinks. And let's get inside. This is the room. A simple Scandinavian style, so I would describe it. And if you compare it, for example, to the Meininger Hotel in Salzburg, this was this red picnic napkin style, here in the blue style for a double room in this case. The shades are closed here at the moment, but you can also look outside, and I think the view is quite unique, because you can look at those old factory buildings, brick style, so this has also something scenic, something alternative when you look outside. And we're still close to the train station, of course. And then just a look at the pretty simple bathroom. Well, there's a new basin at least, but nothing special. And you can also enjoy a small breakfast right up the roof terrace, because the room where the breakfast is usually taken inside when it's cold is usually also quite crowded, as the hotel is usually also very well booked. But here, summer times, you can also enjoy the roof terrace already about just 7 o'clock in the morning, and already we got some sunshine here on, and you could also use this roof terrace here during the day. And at the very top of the Olympic Park, it's probably the place to be at the great summer evening here in Munich, to enjoy the sunset with a very warm light, with a great overview of the Olympic Park, and also, for example, the BMW buildings, and you see some silhouettes of the city then. Thank you very much for following us here in Munich. It's been very interesting together with you. We've seen a lot of famous sites, but also some secret hints. And I would like to hear your feedback, because we can exchange in the comments where you maybe go to in Munich, what are you planning, or where have you already been to. Really looking forward to your feedback there as well. And if you liked this trip here to Munich, there are also other video parts, maybe the big film we did here with 3 cities, Vienna, Salzburg and Munich, or you can join each of the cities singularly. Will all be linked in the video description, so be sure to check out those as well to follow another video with us.